Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Ask Talk Show. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is Avalon Village. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence for Just Dance Talk Show. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is Avalon Village, and we have the president and CEO herself, Shamanism Harris. Good afternoon, better known as Mama Shu.
Mama Shu. Thank you, Marsha, for having me today.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. Now, you know, I know I gave your birth name, Shaheen. Say it.
Shamayim.
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 Shamayim. Okay. But tell us a little bit about yourself, and I just want to start off with about yourself and how did Avalon Village come about?
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a mother. I am an activist in Highland Park. I was on the police department for 6 years, the first lady chaplain of the Highland Park Police Department ever in history. I was a charter commission president. I helped rewrite the charter or revise the charter for Highland Park, Michigan. I was also on the Housing Commission, and actually the president of the school board. So a lot of those things that I did, and also in preparation, and actually it helped me to build the village. I was doing those things. I'm like, you know what? I want to build a village. I want to help to do my part in Highland Park and rebuild one of the most blighted sections in Highland Park, Michigan, on Avalon Street.
Okay, now you're a resident of Highland Park as well.
I'm a resident of Highland Park. I was born in Highland Park.
Okay.
And raised in Detroit, but came back to Highland Park to live and have business. And that was in the 90s, 1998, okay. 97, something like that. Yep.
All right. Now, it's because a lot of times when people, as we say, give back to the community, we know our area. We're familiar with the area that we live in, and we might see something that needs to be upgraded or some changes that need to be made. And with all that experience on the charter and the police commission, all that kind of good stuff, that alone shows that you brought in a network of resources to create Avalon Village?
So Avalon Village was actually a vision even before all of that.
Okay.
And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to do my part in Highland Park to basically help to serve. And so those were some of the ways that I served, but also it was basically like sessions and classes because I knew that I was building a village and each one of those things are represented in a village as departments. So you have the security, or you have the police department, you have the economic development, you have all of those writing the charter. I'm like, okay, so there needs to be rules and ordinances and things like that. So I just kind of took what I applied as well as my imagination and it just went wild. And I started, I lived in Highland Park and I just decided I used to pass the street every day and I looked down there and it was just tore up from the floor up actually. Okay. A lot of blight, and I'm like, you know what? In the house that I was in, I said, I'm gonna take my ministry over there and I'm gonna fix up the block. And I would say it every time I went to my school job, which is Aisha Shule. I worked school administrator too for 27 years. And so when I saw the space, it just was calling me, and I would drive down and I would just imagine what it is that I would put on the block. And and then I started building it.
All right, so the dream came to fruition.
The dream started to come to fruition.
Okay, so what is the mission of Avalon Village?
The mission of Avalon Village is basically to transform blight to beauty. It's to basically repurpose and revitalize land in Highland Park that is vacant, that is unhealthy, that is blighted, and make it into something beautiful and functional for the people.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So now I know you work with a glamour of wonderful people that support the event or what you do, but mainly, how's the residents? Are the residents, forthcoming to take part in Avalon Village?
I think so. I've been over there for 16 years building. Last year we celebrated our Street 16 is what we called it. And so they've been seeing me, neighbors and folks and my family and even my students, that because I dragged them in all of those years, like, look, you got to come over here and help me clean up the village and clean up all the blight, because there was a lot of blight. It took me 8 years to clean it up. And so, but yeah, I think that they're very, very thankful. Sometimes, people were looking at me like I was crazy, like, this lady has cleaned up this block and it's hit. Even my own family members thought that it was like, okay, you get ready to do this. And I was like, yeah, so you just start. And that's what I did. I started. I didn't want to look at blight sitting on my porch and I'm looking at this wreck and a lot of people walk by blight. And so I just really felt that we deserved a beautiful space to live in and I wasn't going to move. And I wanted to stay where I was and basically fix it up and started fixing it up. Like I said, 8 whole years cleaning it up. Okay. It was like a lot at a time. An alley was next, the alleys that's between my blocks. And yeah, it took that long.
So did you have to spend a lot of time with city council and, different departments to let them know the seriousness of taking care of this area that you wanted to preserve? I mean, were they on board with you, or you just started doing things and then they said, okay?
I started doing things, and that's it. I just started doing it. We took it, and I didn't even own any of the property when we first started. I just said, you know what, the grass needs to be cut. And I could see that there was an issue with some of the departments getting to the whole city. And so basically, as a citizen, I just wanted to do my part. Like, look, I know y'all can't get to it. I'm not going to hound you like I'm a taxpayer and I do that. I know all of this, but at the same time, it wasn't going to bring capacity in to do that because the city didn't have the funding and the folks to make those things happen. And so we just basically took it upon ourselves and just really just started building it from the mud.
That was great. That was great. I mean, I've been over there, and the area is really, really nice. You've done a tremendous job. And I didn't know it's been, what you said, since 16
years.
I didn't know it's been that long. I looked at it like, in a couple of years, she pulled this off, But people don't realize when you start something, a project, you're at the bottom of it. And, by the time people start recognizing or noticing it, it's at another level.
That's exactly what happened. It was like, because a lot of people, when they meet me, they was like, wow, how long you been doing? I said, I've been over here 16 years, but I was doing the work. And so it really became public, more public, I would say, in 2016. It was an interview with Charlie LaDuff. And he came and it was like he discovered, like, what? We were doing a Kickstarter, raising money to, like, I'm doing the village, I'm building, let's raise some money. We did a Kickstarter and our goal was 241.9. And so we got to getting it, and so we needed help with a PR person. And so one of my folks, my team members, reached out and we met Robin. And then Robin introduced, and she called Charlie. She said, what? You're over there? She said, Shu. We met in a coffee shop. And Robin, she said, Shu, you're over there building. How long have you been doing this? This is her. And she said, let me call Charlie. She called Charlie. That was the very first interview. And after that, it was on and popping, and it never stopped. It never stopped. It was just kept building and building and building. But yeah, I was over there just basically doing it on the resources that I had, my little checks from my job, and raising money, selling fish sandwiches and stuff like that, and begging folks, can you donate this and that? That's what I did until, and I still do it. I still do it.
Well, look, you're doing a great job.
Thank
so I'll
you.
tell you what, we're going to take a break. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with some more Avalon Village.
If you store your guns properly,
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
And I won't have to tell my kids, this isn't a drill.
Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.
I try to keep up with what these young people is doing and knowing.
I was at work and I just got a text from a number that I didn't know.
I sent him a text. He texts me back and say, who dis? And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, who dis?
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, and welcome back to the second half of the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know I always get excited about when I have guests in the house. So we have the president and CEO herself, Mama Shu of Avalon Village. Now, some of you may not be familiar with Avalon Village, so we're going to try to educate you as much as possible about her program. And if you have questions, you know you can always give us a call, 1-800-323-5336. We'll pass the information on to her, as well as you'll see her information in the credit roll. Now, I wanted to get that out because there's going to be somebody who's paying attention to this program and say, I want my children involved, or I want to be involved some way, somehow, to help out in the community, whether it's in Highland Park or just coming over from somewhere else to support what it is that you do. So I wanted to ask you now, the people that work with you, are they coming from all over, or are they, you know, people in general in your neighborhood? How does this all come about that you get all these people involved?
So, yeah, I've been getting people involved. When I was working with the school system, first of all, and I was starting and began my project, I was with schools. I worked in schools as an administrator. I would get the students over to help with community service. I asked friends, I asked volunteers, anybody that really would help, that would help for free. That's how I got a lot of my stuff done, a lot of the things. And then really from there, really built a professional team, you know, of activists, of futurists, of engineers, all kinds of people, contractors. And as I was doing the work, you know, folks watch you and they actually see what you're doing and they see the impact and they see the change. And so people want to get on board. Some people want to help. And so that's what happened. And so I have a wonderful team right now that is working with me. And the thing about it is that the team that we have, they have to, and they love and they feel what's going on. They feel the village. You know, it's not just a thing where you can like collect a check. And also they can find how they can actually fit in. So a lot of what they do, they love doing, and so they bring it to the village. And so that's how I pick out the leadership, or I choose folks that really I want you to exercise what it is that you like, but how can that fit in the village, and we can build that up. And then also they are required to do some volunteer time. So even if they get compensation, they still, in their contract, you know, hey, 20 hours plus of, you know, volunteer because we're still building. And so it's just wonderful. It's just a really nice balance. I work with the unhoused men in the neighborhood. They have really helped out over the years. They helped me when, I'm telling you, it was just boats, it was trash, it was just, the street was a wreck. Those were some of my very first people that really came to come help and to get the debris. A lot of garbage was removed and all of that. So I made connections that way. And then it just grew.
You know what, now it sounds like you're an inspiration to a lot of people. But who were some of your inspirations?
Some of my inspirations. It was funny that you asked that because I just really realized that like maybe a couple of years ago. You know, it was just, I'm like, you know, I'm creative. I like to create. I like to make things beautiful. And so turning blight to beauty, that was my thing. That's what I wanted to do on that block. But then I got to thinking like, okay, who was really, you know, who can I really connect with? And as a little girl, my grandmother lived on the east side on Pennsylvania Street between Charlevoix and Goethe. That's deep east side over there, right? And so I would go over there in the summer and she would listen to Martha Jean the Queen. And I would listen to her on the radio, on our stereo, the long wooden stereos, the one that you lift up the top to it. And also Mother Waddles, and I would hear the commercials and I would hear it. And so I guess hearing it over and over again and listening to a lot of the work that they did, you know, somehow implanted itself, you know, I believe, and I connected with it, And so then there were other wonderful women too, Imani Humphrey, Io Hunter of the Kabah Center on the east side.
Now, can you imagine all those women had visions like yourself?
Yes.
And, you know, they worked just as hard to be a part, you know, to build the community or to better the community, whatever it was. And here you are as a little child, watching these very women do their thing, and now here it is your turn. Okay, so imagine how many young people you have inspired. I don't just want to say young girls, but imagine how many young people you have inspired to give the opportunity to know that they can do what their passion is.
Yes, and I see that, and I see it spread. The idea of Avalon Village is for it to be infectious, for people to realize what they can do with something blighted, something unkept, something unhealthy around in their own neighborhoods, and basically move on it, even if it's just one lot at a time.
Okay, okay. So even though when you say it's one line at a time, when you say the work is getting done, or when we ask how does the work get done, is that through the community itself, or is that in the involvement of other entities coming in and say, hey, I want to help you out?
It is. It's the community, it's the children, it's volunteers, and it's also other organizations. One organization that helped to help build the homework house is the Detroit Habituals. They saw me receiving an award in like 2017, and my homework house was incomplete. And I got an email, and they said, you know, Mama Shu, we may be able to help you to finish your homework house. And I'm like, okay, bet. And so those guys came, and they helped, and they did free labor, and they finished it and made the house very, very beautiful. And they stuck around, and they stuck around when I didn't even have all of the money. It took 5 years and some change to build the homework house. But they told me, they said, however long it takes, Mama Shu, we're gonna finish this homework house. So if I got a grant and it was $30,000, I was able to put it towards it. That's what I did. If I got $10,000 from somewhere, okay, this is enough. We can get the plumbing done. I swear, that's the
every penny
that's
counts.
exactly what happened. And so we have the finished product. And yeah, it was just it was a beautiful thing. And so they've helped out with a couple of other things. And there's other organizations and grants that I do now receive. Anything that I see that can fit in what we're doing and be in alignment, I apply for it. And so so far, no governmental grants or anything. It's totally grassroots, raising money, online, donate. You know, we have some regular reoccurring donors and things like that. Yeah, we just make it work.
I wanted to start off with this wonderful photo that we have of you here. And I see it says the homework house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now tell us about inside the homework house. What will we encounter if we come visit you?
Well, inside, when you go in the homework house, you'll see 2 orange, beautiful rocking chairs. You'll see a round table with flowers. You'll see a library that's in the back, a beautiful kitchen. Basically, it's like home. You'll see artwork hanging on the walls because a lot of our children, some of them don't see beautiful artwork and colors. And so a lot of that, you'll see that. You'll see couches, comfy. And it's 3 floors. Well, it's 3 floors. And on the first floor, it's open classroom, open study space, classroom space. Downstairs, there's a space for art and also the younger folks, because we're putting a daycare down there, day school. And then upstairs is the computers. We have the computers up there. We also have our studio. We have a studio up there that children make music, and it's more space up there. We have a whole wall full of albums, and so that's basically what goes on there. 3 showers. One is special needs accessible. You see the ramp.
You know I was going to ask about that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, definitely. We have a shower on the first floor that's special needs accessible. 2 showers downstairs because sometimes the lights and gas and water is cut off with the children. And the homework house, the goal is to make sure that our children are covered educationally, that they don't miss a beat. So they come, if you're hungry, you're getting something to eat. If you need to stop by for breakfast, if you need your clothes ironed, if you need to take a shower because you got some hard times in your house or something is going on, that is the space. We fill in the gaps.
That is beautiful. You know, I want to go over this photo right here, but I tell you what, we're going to take a break because you know what, you're giving out such a wealth of information. I don't want us to miss the beat, so we're going to take a break. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come back with some more Avalon Village with Mama Shu. We'll be right back.
This isn't a workout video. It's about how LLS has helped blood cancer patients like me thrive and how your donation can help countless others. Please give today at LLS.org.
We see champions everywhere we look. In every sport, on every court, we're building a foundation to ensure all athletes are safe, supported, and strengthened. At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, we're shifting sport culture because every athlete deserves to compete free from abuse.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know, Mama Shu and I was on a roll here, so I don't want you guys to miss a beat about, you know, the Avalon Village. And what I'm saying to you all is that if you have an interest in being involved with the Avalon Village, please go to the credit row and get the information, or give us a call. It's definitely, or, you know, you're in Highland Park, why not stop by?
Stop by.
Okay, stop by. All right. So, you know, I want to talk about the Goddess Market you have posted up here. Tell us a little bit about this. This is such a nice photo here. So tell us about this part right here.
Thank you. So the Goddess Marketplace was actually founded in 2001. And so what I did was I used to do pop-ups, and women entrepreneurs, we get together and we pop up and you know, in halls or whatever. And so this is an extension of it here in the village, and it's inside of a shipping container. The shipping container is ran by solar lighting, and so that looks like a picture of us preparing to open up for a Saturday marketplace, in which we have our season opens a day before Mother's Day, and it lasts until October. So it's an outside marketplace every Saturday from 10 to like 6 or 8 o'clock, depending on if we got something going on. We have music, food selling, and then there's other tents that are popped up with other businesses. So it's a wonderful space. You see one container is the Goddess Marketplace. The other container is called the Wine and Tea Shop, WHINE and Tea Shop. So it's where you get wine swag, beautiful baskets. We have wine tasting and just different things like that in this whole space. So this is like one of this is the thing that kind of lights up the whole block, because folks come, they eat, and it's like the stage is on the other side of the park, Jacoby Robb Park. And so it's just a whole open marketplace for the, and so women are, we nurture women businesses.
Okay, okay. So gradually from, you say from what month to what month?
October. I'm sorry. It always is a day before Mother's Day.
Okay.
Whatever day it is day before Mother's Day on that Saturday, and it's the last Saturday in October. That's how long the marketplace lasts.
Okay. And so within the marketplace, do you have a lot of partners that just come through and they say, hey, you know, we're gonna be a part of this event this year?
We recruit for vendors, like, hey, do you want to vend? And so they do. They pay a small fee, and they're able to show their wares. They're able to have their services there if they're a massage therapist or whatever it is that they do.
Oh, wow.
Reiki, whatever it is, they're able to do those things there.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yes.
So, you know, in building the village, more or less, you have a lot of young people, and like this photo here. I mean, some of these young people, are they adults now, or this is just like recent? Because I'm trying to figure out, as you're going along with your creativity, how often do these young people want to come back and be a part of the growth?
So this is an interesting photo. This is some years ago. This year, that's Hood Camp, Urban Survival for Today's Youth, which is one of our longest running signature camps in Avalon Village. It is a camp, this year it's 15 years old. I've been doing it for 15 years. Decided to take a group of kids outside. I always wanted to spend a night outside. My mom didn't let me, right? So I get in my 40s and I'm like, I want to spend a night outside with some kids. So we go and we start off with 17 kids in 2011, but it's a camping experience showing them emergency preparedness. They have first aid, CPR. And so this is one of our groups. One year, I don't remember what year this is. This might be 2017, something like that. But yeah, and so a lot of the children, they're grown. Some of them are older, some of them went to college, and they come back. And also they run program. We have one right now, his name is Joe. He goes to Oakland, so he's home, and he comes on Friday and he works until Sunday, and he works in the village. Some come to be camp assistants.
So more or less, these young folks have learned and grasped on to a wonderful opportunity to become productive young men and women in their community through you.
Yes, and we let them know that it's their responsibility to help build up their community and keep going.
All right, all right. So what do we have here?
So there is, oh yeah, that's one of the, I always like all the activities that we do for myself, but this is called Apple Picking in the Hood. So basically in October, it's the last Sunday in October, and we do apple picking. A lot of our children, sometimes they can't afford to go to the apple orchard. They have like 5 kids in the family, and it's like $20 times 5 or something like that. So what I decided to do was basically recreate and make an apple orchard. So we made apple picking stations, which you see with the haze, and we have it all decorated. I do a hayride, and so I get them, we have our own trailer now. That was back when we had to rent it from U-Haul, but we would take them around, and I would show them, basically, I would take them to a blighted block and show them that our block used to be like
so
that.
So everything that you have created now is ongoing?
It's ongoing.
Ongoing. So it's been 15, 16 years and everything is still ongoing?
Everything is ongoing. Consistency is key.
Okay, and that's wonderful because you know what, like I asked you about the young people who you started out with, now they're grown adults or, you know, young folks, and they want to give back and be a part of the community and be a part of what you do. And that makes it better for us to see that in the future we have people who are concerned about their neighborhoods, the environment itself, the safety of the families in the neighborhood, in the areas that, you know, they live in, and that's great. Okay, so now this photo here, I was really taken by this photo. There was so many wonderful people. Tell us about, is this?
So this was a fun day, actually. Okay. This is one of the earlier days of the homework house. We don't even have the lights out there or anything, just building on it. But yeah, it was the Detroit Tigers, their organization, volunteers, they came through and they came to help us do, I believe it was some yard work and mowing lawns and everything. So that's me sitting on the porch with them, and we had a good day that day, yeah.
So I tell you, before we wrap up, Mama Shu, tell us, where do you see Avalon Village in the next 5 years?
I see Avalon Village right now. We're building up the downtown of Avalon Village, which is the first block between Woodward and 2nd Avenue. The other blocks, I will be building housing within 2 years, building housing in a lot of the vacant lots. And my goal is to revitalize all of the blocks of Avalon Street. That's 3 blocks all the way to Hamilton Avenue in Highland Park. That is the goal. That is to help build and bring more families to Highland Park, you know, and also bring more services and basically transform more blight to beauty in Highland Park.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So anyone that wants to be involved, what should they do?
Anybody that wants to be involved, if they want to donate, if you want to drop something off on the porch, if you want to volunteer, you can go to www.theavalonvillage.org, or you can swing by. You can take a tour. We invite tours. We have a lot of colleges and schools that come, urban planners, folks that come and want to see what we're doing and how we're doing it. And yeah, and they stop by, so you can always stop by the village.
Okay, wonderful. And you know, and we plan to come by. Just Ask will come by. Okay. Definitely, you know, we want to come by and enjoy some of the festivities that you all are involved in over there. And it's going into the warm months, so definitely, you know, I know you got your planning schedule all together.
Yes.
So my favorite question is, will you come back and join us again?
I definitely will, Marcia. I've had a good time.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And all great success to you and the Avalon Village.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I am. I always got something to share with you. Okay. And today we want to thank Mama Shu for sharing her, you know, her spirit. Okay. So she gave us a wealth of information for you to consider coming over there to help out, or, you know, come check out the area and say, hey, you know what can I do to help, or what can I do to support? And why not? Okay. It's for children, and children need to have role models, and she is definitely one of the city's best role models that we can have on our show today. So I'm your host, Marsha Florence with Just Ask. And what do I always say? If you got a question about a person with a disability or just a general question, don't be afraid to ask. Just ask. I'm your host. Thank you.